All right, so Ray, we know that affordability is a big problem in the car market right now. We have all of these manufacturers that continue to raise their MSRPs. So we have consumers that are looking for used vehicles now more often than they're looking for new vehicles. But here's something interesting from Automotive News, and they said the answer may be not that okay, these ICE vehicles are lower in price, the used ones, but that used EVs could be the answer that consumers are looking for to seek affordability. What do you have to say about that?
The first thing I thought about when I read that was, so people that really have a tough time affording a car in this country, a used car in this country, you're telling me that you think the answer for those people who might be inner city people or whatever, the answer is for them to buy a pre-owned EV. Um, Many of these people who have credit issues, which is why they're looking for cheaper, more affordable vehicles, might not necessarily have the credit availability to utilize one of the apps so that you could take your new cheap EV to a charging station and charge that son of a gun up. So I read it and I thought to myself, people that need $5,000 to $15,000 vehicles aren't the people that can, even if it was a $10,000 EV, still might not be in a position to buy one because they can't charge the damn thing. They don't have the credit to be able to go charge the damn thing. They're not adding electric chargers to their house so they can plug it in. Especially if they live in a row home in a city. So I think this is like somebody's smoking dope and coming up with these headlines and saying, well, EVs are going to fix the used car affordability crisis, especially for people of lower means. It ain't happening. At least
So
I don't see it happening.
Yeah, so I agree with you, and you know that I have a Tesla, and I drive a Tesla every day. I've got an S, I've got a 3. Now, I mean, these aren't the only vehicles we have. I'm a used car dealer. We have lots and lots of cars, but my daily driver is a Model S, and even though I drive this S every day, and I think it's very convenient, I just plug it up in my garage. I 100% agree with you that people that are looking for affordability in the used car market, they're probably not looking for affordability for their second or their third vehicle. And a lot of people who go from ICE to gas, if they're looking for a cheaper car, they're probably not going to sacrifice their one and only daily driver to something that they're not comfortable with yet, to something that, okay, they know that they have to be able to charge every single day. And a lot of these consumers are going to live in apartments. They're going to live in condos. They're going to live in places that don't have garages. They're going to live in places where it's not very easy to charge. Now, I'm near Charlotte, and the closest supercharger to me is 20 miles away. And I am right next door to Charlotte. So it's not like I'm in some little town. We're in a bigger city, and it's still that far away to find a supercharger. So if my only option for me to have a car, and affordability is not really even something that I'm necessarily thinking about, but if I'm only picking one car to have, I'm not picking an electric car. I have to make sure I have some kind of backup. And a lot of these people that are shopping for affordability, and they're looking at a $20,000 car in that range, and that's what sadly is the affordable range right now for a used car. They're not going to be going towards electric because they can't take that risk on something that it doesn't matter what the reality is. In their mind, the perception is, okay, there's nowhere that they're going to be able to charge it, and they're not sure about charging it overnight outside, and they're not sure about insurance. They're not sure, even if the perception is that this car is going to catch on fire and there's going to be a big problem, we know that they're less likely at this point to catch on fire than your other car. It doesn't matter. The perception is, I don't know. And a person who can only have one vehicle, they only have money to buy one vehicle, and they have to have that vehicle get them to work, get their kids to school. If their kids get sick, they have to take them to the doctor. They have to have this car work, and they got to work all the time. That's not going to be the route for a lot of these consumers that are wanting to go the affordable route. That's not going to be their choice for their only vehicle.
Because they don't know.
Correct.
Okay, and I get that. But let me ask you a question. You specialize in cars that are $5,000 and below. So let's say as time goes on, that suddenly becomes $10,000 and below. If you could sell a used EV that was $10,000 and below, do you see your customers saying, well, that's the one I gotta have?
My customers know right now, because just like what we were saying, most of my consumers are not going to live in a place where they probably have a garage and where it's easy to charge. I could even say for my garage, like we have a 2-car garage.
Okay.
And it's very difficult to not have a bunch of crap in my garage. So I have somewhere that's just easily, it's easy to park it in the same spot. Now we've worked around that because I've chose to drive this on a daily basis. But I can imagine for most families, that's not going to be the easiest thing to do. And I can tell you, there's been a couple times where I've just forgot to charge my car overnight, and I'll wake up the next day and go out there. It's like, I didn't charge it. Now, luckily, mine has like a 345-mile range, so I've never been in a situation where I've had any kind of problem. But that thought has always entered my mind when I didn't charge it the day before. Like, where's the charge going to be at? And most of the vehicles that you're talking about in this affordable range, like I have a 2019 Model S.
Okay.
That's not going to fall in the range of an affordable EV. So the Model 3, I can relate more to the subject that we're talking about, and it's only got a 200-mile range.
Okay.
So not plugging it up overnight is a serious issue for a 200-mile range versus a 350-mile range. So this is a risk that people who need to get to work every single day and they need that car to work is not a risk that they're going to be willing to take when they know that they can get into a gas car that's the same price and there's a gas station on every other corner. All right, well, a lot of you might not realize this, but this is a brand new channel, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, and let us know what you want us to talk about.
Out of curiosity, and I don't know that you would have the answer, but I'm going to pose this question. Do the public chargers, where there are electric chargers, do they take cash? Can you put cash in the machine and they'll charge your when you go to a gas station, will they take cash? Can you go into the little store and say, I'd like to put $20 in on pump 2? So for people that don't have credit cards or a smartphone with an app, they can't charge their EV because you can't. There is no guy at the charging station where you can go. Yeah, I'm on the Charger 11. I'd like to put $12 of electricity in that vehicle. There is no guy to do that with and hand them a 10 and 2 ones. Okay, and so that can become an issue for people. If my brother, God bless him, he's older than me, ladies and gentlemen, about to be 82 next month.
Okay. I was just about to say, how is that possible?
Well, because he was born before me. What the hell do I know? And this past year, he recently got himself a cell phone for the first time in his life. He's got a flip phone. Okay, he that's not working at a charging station. Okay, so for people who don't have the smartphone, for people who don't have the credit card or the debit card, how and they don't have the ability to charge at home, how's the electric vehicle ever going to work for them? There is no guy behind the counter that says, Sure. Yeah, give me the 20. I'll set you up for $20 on pump two.
And I think this is one of the thing where a lot of I get a lot of opinions from Tesla drivers, and they're like, "Well, you just plug it up overnight, whatever. It's just the easiest thing that you've ever done, or you can just go to the charging station. It only takes 15 minutes. How long does it take for you to charge? I mean, to gas up your car?" Um, and I think it's a thing of perspective, and a lot of it's. And I can say if you're one of these Tesla fanboys, you're one of these EV drivers that drive them every day, and you can't get into the other perspective that me and Ray are talking about. That you're a very fortunate person. I'm glad that you have that perspective, and you don't have the other perspective. But there are a lot of people out there that are dirt poor and that don't have good living conditions, and
Mhm.
and unfortunately, it's a lot of the US public. And unfortunately, it's a lot of the public that if Tesla wants to continue to grow at the rate it has, it's got to figure out how to get those people into their cars. And it just doesn't work for those kind of people right now. And I'm glad that a lot of these Tesla fanboys and a lot of these people that are just sold on EVs, and like 5 years from now everyone's going to be driving an EV. It's not going to happen, and I'm glad that you don't understand why. But hear what me and Ray are saying. This EVs right now cannot work for everyone, and there's going to be circumstances where those people are not going to be able to buy an EV, and they're not going to be able to drive one every day. It's just not a reality.
You speak the truth. It's as much as EV people would like EVs to be the only thing. It won't be the only thing for quite some time. Um, Listen, as everybody, I live in a condo. We don't have an EV charging station at the condo. I'm not allowed to throw a 100-foot extension cord off of my balcony and go plug in into my car I can't do that. It's against the rules. Um, could I get an EV? Are there now a couple charging stations that the city has installed, and I don't know through which company it is or whose app I would need, that are like a mile from my house? Yes. So if I wanted to, I could. Um, but there are a number of people out there that can't, and we have to recognize that. Um, so yes, for people who can figure out ways to be able to charge a vehicle, could EVs become the affordable option for them? Yes. For a large percentage of the population, sadly, that answer is still no, just for whatever economic reasons that would preclude them from being able to participate.
And what I can say is it sounds like a lot of negative EV energy here. And I can tell you, for me, I am not anti EV at all. I own two EVs. I have a Tesla Model S that I drive every single day, and I love it. There are some things that I hate about it, but overall, the experience from what I have experienced with my Tesla, it's been perfect for me. And what I can say is that I fall into a small range of people that it can actually be really beneficial for. I won't say small range. There's probably a big range of people out there that it can be beneficial for. But I have a garage. I had the means to easily have a contractor put in a 240-volt outlet right
Mhm.
next to where my car was going to be. I plug it up every night. I don't drive a ton. I mean, the longest drive that I'm going to have is going to an auction that's right at an hour away. So maybe in one of my worst case days, I'm going to be driving maybe 200 miles. And my battery is rated for 345 miles. It's not going to go that long because Tesla batteries are over optimistic, but it's probably going to go for 300 miles. So I'm never going to cut it close. And even if I am going to cut it close, or we just recently went on a vacation, we have another car. It's a gas car, and we took that on vacation. We didn't drive the Tesla. So I I know that I'm in the slim slim portion of the population where I can have this EV, and I bought it literally to try it because I'm covering the car market. I need to know what's going on with EVs. That's why I bought it, and then I got sold on it. But all this to say is that I think with the prices coming down of EVs, we're talking about the affordability. I think there's going to be more people like me that get into EVs just because they can try it for the price points that they've come down to as their third car, as their fourth car. And it's going to be better for EVs going forward because now even me, I don't see myself ever not having an EV around for me to drive just because I've liked the experience so much. So this is a good thing for the future of EVs as the prices come down. Just example for what I drive, when it was brand new, it was a $95,000 car. I bought it 4 years later and it was 22 grand. So that's how far that car has fallen in value. That's what I paid for it. It's $22,000. It's just going to be better the more that EV prices come down because guess what? I'm going to buy another EV. And then when that one blows up, I'm going to buy another EV. And you're going to get more people in the same situation. So the worse that EV prices get, the more that they fall. The better it is for the space because then you allow more people to experiment with the cars and get in them and actually try them.
So if I heard everything you just said to me, shared with us, when I come to visit you so that we can go to the auction together, we're going in your Model S?
Oh, we're going in the S, yeah.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. Because, I got to tell you, I didn't care for the Model Y that we rented when we were in Detroit. So I'm looking forward to the S. Yeah, I can't. We'll have to make arrangements soon before it gets too cold, and I have to worry about snow preventing me from getting to the airport.
Yeah, I rode in a Y well before I bought either one of these. And I think the Y is the one that you tried to, right?
Yeah.
And I could hear everything on the road. It was loud in there. It felt like stuff was shaking in the car. It was still fast. I mean, it was fun to drive, but it was just like everything. It felt to me, and I make this comparison to the Model 3, but the Y felt the exact same. It felt like I was driving a 2005 Kia Spectra, just a really fast one. Yeah. So but the Model S, and I don't know if the X is the same way, but the Model S feels like it's a BMW. It handles better. It feels more solid. It feels like a heavier car. It is a heavier car.
Yeah.
But you can feel it on the road, and you don't get this constant road noise that you get from the Model Y and the Model 3. So I do want you to ride in it and just to see the difference.
Okay. And the one thing I know from the X when we drove it, it was so difficult to fit 3 human beings in the back seat. And one of them being my son, who is not really a large person.
He's not short either.
Well, he's not short, but he's not fat. He's not heavy.
Right.
So, he's a relatively small-sized person. And the 3 people in the back seat were not necessarily big people. But my God, you could barely fit 3 people in the back seat of a Y. It is, unless nobody wanted to really sit on anybody's lap, but that was pretty much the only way to do it. But that's neither here nor there.
All right, so all of you watching it here, I know most of you are not subscribed, so I need you to hit that subscribe button. Whatever we need to do to get you to hit that subscribe button, Ray will do it. So just hit it for us and let us know what he needs to do down in the comments to get you to subscribe. I think we're live.
We are indeed live. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Car Sense. It's Tuesday at 1:30 here in Ventnor and in North Carolina. And, well, you get to have a conversation or listen to a conversation between Brandon from Car Questions Answered and myself. And the first question I'm going to ask you today is a question I just asked you off the air. Do you buy your T-shirts in bulk? And now you can explain to the audience yes and why you do.
Yeah, so we do. My wife actually gets them for me. And it's an interesting thing because we do a lot of these videos, and it turns out that the car market doesn't change all that much very quickly. So we still put out videos, and a lot of the information is the same. And
Yeah.
I get it. I hear it. I understand. But that also means that something I'm saying today, if I do a recording outside at a dealership, then 2 weeks from now, I can also put that same clip in another video, even though it was meant for today's video.
Is that what you wear?
No, that's not where we get ours, but I get it. Yeah. So anyway, it's just every video that you'll see me in, it might look like I recorded it that exact same day, but it's better to look at the skyline behind me and the weather than it is to actually look at my shirt, because my shirt is always going to be the same. And these hats, they get really bad sweat stains right here.
Yeah.
So I have 50 of these exact hats.
Excuse me?
I have 50 of these exact hats, and I've gone through about 20 of them so far. And I've got I ordered 250 total, but I've got 50 of different styles. So I've got this style, I've got just a black style with white letters, I got a blue style with gray letters or something like that. But that's the only thing that might switch up as I get more and more sweat stains. So maybe pay attention to the sweat stain and not the shirt.
I was just curious because I have never seen you in anything other than a black t-shirt. And
there is the rare occurrence, especially when I come on you guys' channel, if I'm not planning on doing recordings for an actual video that day, that I'll wear a gray shirt instead of a black shirt, because I have grays in the same style shirt. I mean, it's just a gray shirt.
Yes, no, I understand.
Yeah, I'll wear those too, but it's very, very rare that I'll get that. And,
okay, well, I do have to ask the question that everybody in America is thinking: what brand?
All 90 people that are in America,
whatever. Yeah, they want to know what brand t-shirts do you wear?
Do we wait for the sponsorship? I'm just joking. It's Fresh Clean Threads. It's Fresh Clean Threads. It's really, really nice shirts.
Fresh Clean Threads is the brand name.
See, now that we've mentioned it, you can send them the invoice for the spot. I mean, that's how Zach and I do it. I mention stuff and then I tell them to send off an invoice. We haven't been paid yet by anyone. But
have you even got a reply email from any of these companies?
I don't think we've actually sent the invoice. So hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, tell every living person you know that they need to subscribe to Car Sense with Brandon and Ray.